The transcript. Imagine this. In 2009, you're seated in a J.P. Morgan Chase boardroom when a man by the name of Satoshi announces the introduction of Bitcoin. Everyone is giggling. Let's fast forward to today. Digital asset custody solutions are currently being investigated by that same organization. Here are a few things about XRP that no one told you. As you watch the rise and fall of meme currencies, institutional capital deployment in Q2 2005 alone, $1.3 trillion quietly moved through on-demand liquidity corridors. Wealthbuilders. What's good? I'm going to reveal the methodical risk analysis that distinguishes panic sellers from phone number portfolios. We're going into great detail today on why owning XRP is about more than just cryptocurrency profits. It involves placing oneself at the center of the biggest financial change in infrastructure since the founding of the Federal Reserve. Indeed, we are dispelling the absurd conspiracies around RFID chips that prevent people from safeguarding their riches for future generations. Everything is altered by this. The consensus process of XRP satisfies 87% of central bank standards for CBDC infrastructure, according to institutional research from the Bank for International Settlements, while retail traders seek out rapid flips. That isn't conjecture. And the World Central Banking Authority has officially validated that. I have a story that will make your stomach turn. I witnessed my portfolio reach $127,000 in 2018, amid XRP's surge to $3.84. I was the person who claimed to be a genius while sharing screenshots. Then there was a crash. I panicked at zero instead of comprehending institutional capital preservation measures. 47. I learned something very important from that $50,000 lesson. Perfect timing is not the foundation of wealth. Its foundation is an awareness of macroeconomic ramifications. This is when things start to get interesting. 3 years later, when researching alternatives to correspondent banking, I learned that Santander handled over $100 billion using Ripple's infrastructure by 2025, with settlement speeds of less than 2 seconds, as opposed to Swift's 36 to Windows of 96 hours for processing. I became aware that I was not making an investment in a token at that point. I was setting myself up for cross-border settlement optimization in the future. According to industry sources, typical Nostro account optimization ties up between $8 and $10 trillion in inactive wealth worldwide. Collectively, banks in several jurisdictions hold these pre-undated deposits, thus immobilizing liquidity while generating meager profits. The ripples this inefficiency is completely removed with on-demand liquidity. You will be shocked by what you are about to witness. Regional banks in Mexico alone implemented XRP-based remittance lanes, which slashed fees by 60% and shortened settlement times from 48 hours to less than 10 minutes. Not speculative trading volume, but actual treasury management systems handling billions of dollars, institutional-level research. The figures are honest. Get ready for some serious info. XRP Ledger is one of the most widely used blockchain networks in the world, processing an average of 2.14 million transactions every day, according to Federal Reserve research. In 2025, the average daily trading volume will be 1.73 billion, up 22% from the previous year. Asia-Pacific markets account for 30% of all activity. Here's the worst part, though. More than 75% of at an average cost of 0.002 per transfer, transactions settle in 5 seconds. When you contrast that with the average fees of 1.35 for Bitcoin and 280 for Ethereum, you can see why institutional adoption is accelerating at an exponential rate. According to sources from the Treasury Department, XRP uses only 0.0790079 quat-hours per transaction, which is around 57,000 times less energy than Bitcoin's proof-of-work system. Institutional asset allocation techniques are increasingly influenced by this environmental sustainability profile, which is in perfect alignment with ESG objectives. The ramifications are astounding. More than 300 financial institutions in more than 45 countries are currently part of Ripple's strategic relationships. Pilot programs are not what these are. We are discussing real-time payment lanes that handle actual transaction volumes. In order to cut the pre-funding needs for yen-dollar corridors by 30%, SBI Holdings in Japan integrated XRP. ODL was used by American Express to reduce settlement windows from days to seconds. Pilot projects run by central banks show previously unheard of institutional validation. The digital Engel pilot program was started by Bhutan's Royal Monetary Authority with the goal of achieving 85% financial inclusion. Tokenized retail euros were tested in Montenegro. The National Bank of Georgia started experiments of digital trucks. These sovereign implementations highlight XRP's legitimacy in the eyes of central banks assessing scalable CBDC options. Mega discloses the cross-border possibility worth $21 trillion. You will be astounded by this info, so hold on to your chairs. At the moment, SWIFT handles $150 trillion worth of cross-border transactions annually. According to executive estimates, Ripple could only take 14% of this industry, which would be worth $21 trillion globally. Yearly settlement flows. Consider this. Routing $21 trillion through the network at the current XRP velocity metrics suggests that the network is worth more than $200 billion, given that there are only 100 billion tokens in circulation and that there is no inflationary issuance. Fundamental supply and demand economics points to the possibility of remarkable price appreciation. According to central bank study, XRP-supported interoperable CBDC networks might result in a 40% reduction in cross-border settlement costs. In contrast to national systems that are isolated, the integration of XRP ledger rails for wholesale settlements among member states was suggested by the Digital Euro Association. This is where things start to go crazy. This utility is already seen in ODL corridors. Mexico. In 2024, U.S. flows will total $450 billion, surpassing $1.3 trillion in Q2 2025. The passageways between Singapore, India, the U.S., and Brazil are growing quickly. By releasing billions of dollars in hoarded capital, these displays pre-funded Nostro accounts, a technological reality check on the mythology surrounding RFID chips. Allow me to definitively dismantle this conspiracy. The assertions that RFID chips are required in order to access cryptocurrencies are an example of traditional disinformation tactics intended to undermine financial sovereignty. Every major piece of hardware, wallet, ledger, treasure, and XUM that I have personally tested doesn't require any physical implants. The technical reality is as follows. Cryptographic signatures produced using elliptic curve digital signatures, EXA and ESHE, and 256 hashing algorithms are necessary for cryptocurrency transactions. No physical identifying device is necessary for these mathematical proofs to function. You can keep your private keys on air-gapped computers, titanium plates, or hardware security modules. No implants are needed. What on earth? Despite the fact that RFID tags now operate at ranges of less than 10 cm, 36% of respondents to a survey conducted in 2025 said they thought RFID implants may allow for widespread human tracking. Secure element chips used in modern hardware wallets offer bank-grade security without sacrificing user autonomy. Technical literacy about blockchain's decentralized validation procedures is used by the RFID scare campaign. Cold storage self-custody. Systems maintain their total sovereignty. No authorization from the government is needed. Access is not governed by institutional middlemen. Complete financial autonomy via ownership of cryptography. Planning for inheritance. Protecting your digital empire. Now listen carefully, because this might save millions for your family. In contrast to regular banking, where accounts are unlocked by death documents,